So having looked at our input types, we're now going to look at a select control. And the select control allows us to select something from a series of options, which means that the user doesn't have to type anything, they just select, which is a great feature. So again, we're going to have a div with a span and a label. So we're getting the idea of a label followed by some sort of a control. So this label is for the engine CC. Let's add that to our code. So now we have the label. The next thing we want then is the control. And the control in this case is quite large, so it'll be split here in a couple of sections. So we'll have a BR, we have a div, we have a span, and then we have our select. And the select has a number of options depending on what options we would like to give to the user. The first one being, please select the size. And then we have 1000 cc, 1100 cc, etc. So we will put all of those in, and then we will finish it off with the end select, the end span, and the end div. We will add our code. Get any spaces if we want, we can leave spaces if we like. So if we now look into our browser and do a refresh, we can now see that we have the engine CC. Clicking on the label, we again get the control selected. And then when we click, please select a size, click on the arrow beside it, and then we can choose the engine CC. These are our options. So this is a select box with our options. So the select HTML element is a control that provides a menu of options, and we as a developer decide what's going to go in there. Each option element should have a value attribute, which contains the data value to be submitted to the server when that option is selected. So each one of these has a value. So that one is not going to go to the server with anything because it's blank. This one is going to go with 1000 if we send it to the server from this client at the front. This one is going to give us 1600. This one is going to give us 3000. So they all have a value which would be associated with that particular option and would be sent to the back end. If no value attribute is included, the value defaults to the text contained inside the element. So it would be, so please select a size if we left out the value option. We can include a selected attribute on an option element to make it by default. So we could set a default in there to say this one is the one that's going to load. And our select element has a name and an ID attribute, and the ID matches the for. Our first value attribute is included, but the value is an empty string. So we had the value with our empty string, as we saw here. So it's just empty. So nothing will be in there. All other elements have a numeric value. So when we come to here, it doesn't always have to be a numeric value. It's just because this one is to do with an engine CC, but this could be text. We could have written 1000 in words, and that's what would go to the back end, and that is what would be stored in a database probably. We have included a select attribute on the first element to make the words please select be displayed by default. When we browsed, we could see that when we clicked on the down arrow, we got a series of options. So that's our label at the top. If we click on it, it highlights the select. When we click on the down arrow, it gives us a list of our options.